All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the Cold Open Cup Finals Mappool Showcase. There are 6 teams left in the tournament, and we're about to dive in and see what these guys are going to be playing here this weekend. My name is Dynasty, and today I am joined in the commentary booth with Arj. Arj, how are we doing?
Hello, everyone. It's been a while since I commentated here, but yeah, I am very excited for the finals map pool. And considering there's 6 teams left, I don't know how they can handle this map pool. So
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how well some of these teams will scale into the late game. But let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right, and for Rice 1, we have Mint set of Ikanai Borderline. This is the cut version, and this is going to be the jump stream pick.
and yeah, considering that the SR on this one is 4.01 stars, and yeah, considering this is like the jump stream pick, basically the Rice 1 pick, I had a hard time getting good accuracy on this one. Like, really. And considering this is like on the shorter side of the map pool in entirety, once you play something like this, it's really hard to, get a miss at jump stream maps like these. So
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
really hard. It's really hard to get back to your accuracy back if you're really having that misses throughout this map. Like 2 minutes of just jump streams, maybe just a short break, but it's all jump streams. Just plain old
Exactly.
193 BPM, 193 BPM jump streams. Anyways, Dinah.
I think that a lot of the reason why this was picked for finals is because the jump from the last pool, Nanoray's Happy Face at 182, this is a slight step up from 182 to 193, but I think the trade-off in length is buffed up by the amount of trills in this map is to not be trifled with. It is extremely tiring to have to do so many one-hand trills, stuff like that. The patterning is way more abrasive than last round's pick.
Yeah, considering this is OD 8.5 in comparison to the previous round, which was Nano Ray, it's slightly harder with just the OD adjustment. But regardless, you do not want to be inconsistent here, So
Yeah, definitely. I think that this pick should still be, within reach for, most of the people in the tournament to FC. However, really the problem is keeping up appearances and being able to minimize 200s on this map.
yeah, that is true.
And we're gonna go ahead
Anyways,
and get into Rice 2.
all right. Rise 2. That's gonna be Cord Hell, Land of Fire. Difficulty name Incinerate. So this one, let me recall what I played on this. This one is kind of the same with Rise 1, but there is a bit of a density on this one, and it's a lower SR. So it's kind of like Ikinai Borderline, but kind of lesser aggressive, and yeah, kind of lesser aggressive patterns all in all. Like this one, they provide you like a few seconds of break, and then it just bombards you with just really fast jump streams.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, you'll see here. So this is the speed pick of the round. You'll start to quickly notice that this is 6 snapping, so the BPM is technically about 225. And if you guys played through the speed map of last round, which was at 238, you'll notice it is a bit slower. However, there are a lot more jumps, and the patterning is a lot harder on this map than the last one as well.
And also do note that when it's a speed pick, usually the thing with that is that you do get more CB rushes than jump streams. Like in a jump stream, you can get like a clean miss. However, getting a miss on something like this is very crucial by the fact that you will get CB rushes at speed picks. So that's something that's going to be a food for thought for the upcoming players that will be playing this one.
Yeah, I think you perfectly said it. Misses in speed picks are always extremely scary because usually you'll find a slew of bad judgments to go along with it. So making sure that this is the right pick for you is very important because you do need two physical, or, very physically capable players at this point in the game to be able to smash out double FCs. And I think that would really pretty much seal the deal on this map if you're able to do that in match.
That is true.
That is
Yeah,
gonna
that's
do it.
gonna be it. Yeah. All right. And shoutouts to Knight of Fire Punch's wall.
Yeah, that's a pretty
Replay
sick
person.
reference. I
Yeah,
think replay was done by Patraj, always cracked when it comes to accuracy, but let's go ahead and
really
get
correct.
into Rice 3. This is going to be one of the mixed rice picks, and it's a custom chart by Saimitsu, replayed by Saimitsu, and this features a lot of awkward patterns and flams to go with it. So make sure that your accuracy is top notch if this is in your sights.
Yeah. While I was playing this, the Earth. If you guys are familiar with 2L, the artist who made Sputnik 3, you can really tell that this music aims to be a more mixed technical rice, if that ever makes sense. Because as far as I'm seeing here, there is, yeah, there's like a bit of a dense snapping there on the notes, which would really screw up your accuracy, and not really accuracy, but it would contribute to give you more 200s than usual, which is like the very thing of technical maps, of course. But like I said, from the other rice picks, this one hits a really different way of decreasing your act. Like this technical maps technically means that you need to read them as properly as possible to not screw it up. Unlike from the speed picks or from the jump stream picks, this, like the title itself, technical. So you really need to be very careful hitting these.
Yeah, I think this song, correct me if I'm wrong for the standard players in chat, this was featured in the OWC, I think either finals or grand finals tiebreaker, something like that.
Yeah, that is true, yeah. It was a custom map, or rather a custom song, I think. Yeah, but it was from OWC last year. So if any standard players out there, this would be kind of a surprise for them, or maybe just a quite small throwback, even though it's just a few months. But anyway,
Yeah, lots of jacks scattered throughout this map, and to finish it off, a little Ki that can prove to be difficult, especially if you are aiming to get a very high accuracy on this map. That is going to do it for Rice 3. That was the mixed rice pick. We are going to go ahead and get into Rice 4, the second mixed rice choice for us. This one features a lot of speedy low bursts.
yeah, colorful. I think I forgot to play this.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
think I forgot to play this. I forgot this map existed. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I think Dinah would be better person to fully explain this. Oh yeah, those stairs. Yeah, those are nice, I guess.
Yeah, love the little bursts thrown out. Some awkward rhythms as well in the song that's reflected in the mapping. But there is a lot of broken jump stream as we've seen time and time again throughout the map, especially in the mixed rice section. We try to give you that element at least in one pick. So here it is in this form. It is also 204 BPM, so a bit faster than Rice 1. However, again, since it is Broken Jump Stream, we do expect you guys to be able to handle this at least, if not, within an accuracy sense, being able to combo it.
And also considering this map is like a minute and a half, this is one of the shorter time in the map pool. So be very careful picking really short maps. But if you're really confident on picking this one, I don't know. I just saw this map, so I really recommend playing this one out, trying this one out rather. But there we go.
Yeah, that's gonna do it for the mixed rice picks in our little rice pool. That was rice 4 colorful. We can go ahead and get into rice 5. And this is gonna be the stamina pick. This is flowering, and as you can see by the length of the map, it is going to be very stamina intensive, both mentally and physically.
And it seems that this is a K-pop music, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, yeah, this
Yep.
is K-pop.
Yep. Yeah, I've been noticing a lot of K-pop map pools recently in this tournament, and I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty cool. They're pretty good. But yeah, I did play this, and yes, it's the stamina pick. It is one of the longest non-tiebreaker picks, because yeah, of course, it's called stamina. So, if you're into longer map sets, if your team is preferable with that kind of maps, this is a great map for you. And this is like considering like stamina picks are like a way for you to flex out your accuracy in like a longer time frame, which is really nice. But do beware that there are some dense stairs over right there. So yeah, those are something that you really cannot manip, because maniping is like a really not good way to get used to stamina picks, because it might screw up your accuracy over time. But yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and I think that with this map, not only are there a lot of streams, there are a lot of jacks that, while watching this might pass you by, and you might not think of them too much. However, I can tell you as the one doing the replay, it is like extremely, it's a big part of your accuracy and how you'll do on this map in your run in match. There's just a lot to do, and really those jacks just siphon your energy as we get into like every third part of the map. And I think that a lot of the teams kind of have found their footing in what they are, whether that be whether they're a Rice team or an LN team. Pretty much they've only been sticking to one side instead of diversifying and branching out. So if you do feel like you are a Rice team going into an LN team, this is probably like one of the perfect picks for you.
And yeah, considering that a stamina pick that has a bit of speeds and jacks, transitioning from jacks to speed, or stamina rather, is something of a challenge, if I do say so myself. And be very wary of, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I have any words for that, but yeah, all I can say is that it's a stamina pick. What more can you get?
Yeah, exactly. And there are a lot of elements in terms of Rice thrown at you as well. We just passed a little like offbeat Ki, and I think that one is pretty hard to act. We're actually coming up on the end here, and by now you've been playing for about 3 minutes. You're probably gassed out, and the last part is no slouch. It's actually quite hard as well. This is the final Ki, and you see a lot of that offbeat stuff being used. A lot of jacks, a lot of speedy bursts, and as the map closes off, hopefully you guys can get as good of a score as your plays are throughout the week. But I think this one is really hard to get a consistent score on, and you might find that it could be a bit volatile.
Yeah, that is true. And I think we're moving on to the Rice 6 pick. And actually, this is my favorite one, Susumu Hirasawa, Dream Island Obsessional Park. So this is basically the Act Battle Rice pick. And as expected, this is going to be the Kojak pick, as you can see from here. And this is a minute and 27 seconds. So it is like, and this is like a TV size map if that makes sense. But as you can see here, it's Jack all around. So if your team is very confident with act battles on Jack, you might as well protect these.
Yeah, and Rice 6 of last round was also at 120 BPM, I should mention. So if you felt comfortable on that map, that was a good litmus test for this one, as it is the same, you know, BPM. However, at a much higher density, as you can see, a lot of threes and quads spread out through these jacks. So it's definitely a slight step up from Baby I'm Yours of last week, but we'll have to see whether or not some teams can handle it, as I know we've had a couple of heartbreaks on Rice 6 throughout the weekend. And that's going to do it for Rice 6. Short and sweet, but it is, of course, the Korjak pick, so it is a sink or swim kind of thing. And we're going to go ahead into Rice 7. This is the final pick for the Rice pool, and this is the tech pick, Lawn Wake 9.
Well, considering if we compare this one to Rice 3, which is the Earth, and this one, this is true tech. This is way harder than it should. Like
Yeah,
I did
definitely.
try this, and there are sudden bursts of those kinds of notes. Like once we progress on the map, but you'll see what I mean.
Yeah, it should be noted, as you see a couple people talking about it in the chat, this is OD 9.1, so if you notice you're not getting as good of an act as usual on this map, that probably has a big reason as to why that's happening. The timing for a 300 is just so tight compared to other songs that you are used to.
Yeah, considering it's a tech pick, I was surprised when I found out that this map was OD 9.1. Like, yeah, first things off, it's tech and it's 9.1. That is incredibly strict for a tech map like this. So, yeah, don't be surprised if your accuracy is lower than the usual Rice picks. Just blame the OD.
Yeah, pretty much. You guys can blame DOD, but you've already seen here, snappings change a little bit. A lot of rolly bursts to deal with. That's featured a lot throughout this map, and that Ki was not too long of a section, but you do get another one in the back half, and I do believe it's a lot harder than the first one that we've just seen.
Yeah, that is true. And do notice that there were on the previous sections, there were like stairs and then following a reverting stairs. Those are the kinds of patterns that can screw you up. So be very careful hitting those. Or something like that.
Yeah,
Third reverse
exactly.
stairs. Yeah, something like that really screws up your accuracy over time. So be very careful about this. I think we're already approaching at the end of the map, and as usual, tech map picks or map pools tend to have like a really harder end than usual. Because that's like the nature of tech picks, and you can see some long jacks there while we're approaching at the end. And oh, split jump trails, that's not good.
Yeah, that split
That
jump drill it will really
oh my
be
god.
like a make or
No.
break moment for your run. Again, as I mentioned, the
Yeah.
back half is, a bit harder than the first. So that is gonna do it for the Rice pool. That was Rice 7, Long Wake 9.
Yep. And I think we're gonna be moving on to the LN picks, my favorite 4K pattern.
Yep.
And we're starting off with Hoyomix, A Glorious Awakening. So this one is 3.02 SR. So this is basically the coordination LN. Is it? Is it?
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
definitely like a coordination, consistency kind of deal. You'll see here, it pretty much, there's a lot of finger independence that goes along with this map. And it should be mentioned that this is yet another Saimitsu custom for this pool. So thank you again to Saimitsu for providing these maps for us.
Also, shoutouts to Play Genshin Impact for making the replay, as we can see that the background is also from Genshin Impact. Anyways, back to the coordination LN. You can see that, like food for thought, coordination LNs are like, for me, they are the hardest to act, rather like the releases. And this one, if you don't have the ability to read coordination, it's gonna miss all round. And considering that it's LN and score V2, there are cases.
Yeah, and I think that, this back half as well, just like the previous map that we saw, is a decent bit harder than the
Well,
first.
locked. Well,
Yeah.
well, not
And
really. Hello, I think I might have gotten lost from there. Is anyone?
oh,
I
there
think I
we
got
go. I think
disconnected
you're
for a bit.
backwards. Yeah, we're good.
Oh my god.
No, you're good. But as
All
the
right.
map finishes off, it is only a minute and 38 seconds long. So this is, I believe, the shortest LN map in the pool. So for those of you that are trying to ban LN, this might be a good one to not ban, as anything can happen within those 90 seconds that you're playing.
Yeah, it could be also a great strat to protect this, especially if you're an LN main, because once you're an LN main, you probably know how to do coordination. So this would be your best LN protect. Now moving on, LN2. It's gonna be Shogi, 28 Reasons. Played by Dynamite RuneScape.
Yeah, and this is another K-pop LN pick provided by Vivrex, aka Vivi. Got the go-ahead for this map and was uploaded specifically for this tournament. So thank you to Vivi for this one. And this one is pretty release heavy. If you've ever played any of Vivrex's other maps, you'd know that it can be quite hard to coordinate the releases on a lot of the higher difficulties of her maps.
That is true. And considering it's a release, there would be like a large potential of getting 200s because, natures of release. They are they are released, or the end or the tail of the LN is kind of ended not the same with coordination. It's more of an untimely release. So that's the main point of LN releases anyway. So be very sure if you really want to pick this over the other LN1, because this one is kind of hard to get accuracy with. And ironically enough, I do think this is like the harder section of the LN picks so far. So, and that's just by me though. That's just my opinion. So everything else is all up to you guys. So.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you there. I think that this might be one for Rice teams to look for in the banning. As it is with release-oriented picks, I think that a lot of teams that haven't, that don't really practice LN, don't really have the finger control down for these types of maps. So I'm expecting a lot of, I guess, either whether it be a ban or a protect or a pick, I expect a lot of the LN section to be represented throughout some of these matches.
rate on the map pool because yeah, it's LN release, but who knows?
This part is quite a doozy as well. Some coordination to go along with the funky releases. And this is a big reason as to why it was picked in the finals and we had Queendom for the release pick in the semifinals, as that it's a lot more ambiguous in the releases, I feel, compared to Queendom, which was pretty straightforward. However, it's just a lot of one-hand releases.
That is true. And as we approach the end of the map, that's the ending is kind of a bit of a tricky one. So if you're be very prepared if you're gonna lose act there. But anyways, that's gonna be your LN2, and we're gonna be moving on to LN3, which is Inabakumori Haru no Sekibaku. So this is the third LN pick, and this falls under the density LN portion. Is that correct, Dinah?
Yeah, and I would say that, in the course, it gets very, very dense. As the one doing the replay, did you have any thoughts on this map while playing through it?
Well, considering that I did make the replay on this, it's actually one of the funnest 3-star LNs that I have played. Like on my end, like I usually play like considerably harder LN stuff, and this is the one that got me a bit challenged to get accuracy out of. You know what I mean? And that's just a density-ish LN pick. So yeah, for those that do play LNs out there, this is a really fun map, if we're gonna be honest.
Yeah, this one and the previous map, I think, are the two that LN teams are going to be looking to protect, and the red teams are going to be looking to ban. As you see here, as the density picks up, at some point, you're holding all 4 notes at once and releasing on different timings. There's a lot to do, and really it's like an intro to inverse / LN Jax.
Yeah. There is a slight inverse here and there, so if you practice like a lot of LN inverses like outside the map pool, this is very perfect for you. And that's coming from me, which is an LN main, so do take note of that words, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I would find this one to prove to be a bit more difficult compared to the other maps in the pool. You see here a lot of LN Jax and small bursts of inverse. It is at 150 BPM, and I think the snapping is 1/4 for those gaps, so it's not too crazy.
That inverse there, that might really screw up a lot of players. But hoping that they can't, because I like inverses are like really easy to learn once you get used to it. It's all in the matter of maintaining that consistency, considering it's LN, and it's like OD 7.5, which on an LN standpoint, that is significantly harder, because usually 4K LNs are like 7, 6.5, something like that. It's
usually like 7.
Yeah, like rarely have I ever found LN maps on OD8 unless it's coordination or release. But if it's density, it's usually that kind of OD range, 7, 6, something like that. And as we approach at the end, it doesn't get difficult at all. So just keep that combo out there, and then you'll be good to go here. So that's LN3. Really fun map. Had fun playing with it. So let's move on to LN4, which is the final LN pick, which is Kairiki Bear featuring Hatsune Miku, Bug.
Yeah, and this is a custom by Ballistic as well, so a lot of customs coming out for this pool. This is more of a techier pick. You'll see a lot of offbeat elements, stuff like that within the song, and I don't think the density factor is too much compared to, I guess, LN2 or LN3, but sometimes it, can hit you.
And as per experience playing this, I do notice that this map has a lot of short LNs, or the best term for it is staccato LNs, which follow a pattern of 112 trills. Those are really tricky to hit. And like what Dinah said, this is on the technical side. Those trills, you shouldn't hit them like rice, actually. You need to hit them like slightly more longer rice, if that makes sense. And this is significantly shorter than the previous one, so...
Yeah, you do get a bit of leeway there. It is 2.5 minutes compared to the last two songs, which were hanging about low 3 minutes. I like what you said about the, staccato long notes. I feel like a lot of people do play those as just, a rice note and then end up hitting an early 300 or at worst a very early 200, which could really damper your score and, bring it down bit by bit as you get into those sections more and more throughout the map.
Yeah, that is true. And a common misconception with LNs is that if you play a staccato LN at score V1, it does feel like you're playing rice. However, that is super different on score V2 because it's very strict. So it does look like it's very easy to hit. But once you play it on score V2, that's where the difficulty comes on. Getting that 200 count, or call it getting that green judgment, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And I like what you said with the previous map as well. I think it applies to this, where, you just kind of gotta play the combo game, if you aren't feeling too great on this map, and hope that your opponent does take a break so that you can, start to gain an advantage. So that's gonna do it for LN4. That was the last pick for the LN section of the pool. So now we can go ahead and get into the hybrids. And the first one is going to be Marsha Wins. Once again, another custom by Saimitsu. Beautiful replay name too, by the way.
Yeah, I like the replay name too. Yeah, we're getting to the good parts. We're going to the hybrid ones. And this one is more of a rice-oriented hybrid. So most of the time, this is like a rice pick. And then consecutively or eventually there will be LNs that will be coming by, and as you can see there's like a sudden burst of stairs and then suddenly hybrid stuff. And I think if I do remember correctly, on the drop part, we'll see once we progress to the map, we have the usual hybrid structure right here. And in my opinion, rice oriented hybrids, those are very tricky to hit, especially if there's people call it there's noodles on my rice. Those are very tricky to act.
Yeah, and I think that one thing to mention with this map as well is that that first section featured a couple of shields and reverse shields, so I think that having that extra little element can really add to the difficulty of the map in both forms of LN and rice. As we transition here into this little breakdown, get a couple of mini jacks and a little burst of speed after an LN section. There's a lot of a little bit of everything in this section here.
Yeah, mostly comprised of some parts have mini jacks, but I do see a dominant pattern of reverse shields here, and then a sudden burst of stairs, or just burst in general. So be very careful when it comes to hitting burst and then transitioning to an LN, then transitioning to a reverse shield, because that's really that's definitely a no-go when it comes to comboing stuff. It's transitions
really had a lot of staggered releases as well, but as we get into this outro, Nothing too special here. Pretty much the same as you've been seeing in the little rice section that ended off.
That's true. And that's gonna be your first hybrid one, which is ETF Marsh Winds. Very fun map, honestly. But then let's move on to the second map. Oh, what's this? It's
Uh
Yoasubi. Oh,
oh. One
wait a
sec. I
second.
think we got the wrong.
1 second. Oh, what's going on here?
Oops, we got
Ah.
the wrong wrong
Oh,
replay. 1 second.
what's that? Oh my goodness. Did I just saw 8k extra? What was that?
Alright, I got the right one sent over. That is my bad. Everyone will get that replay for you real quick. Sent it over to the streamer. By the way, streamer is Rhymes with Mash. Always helping me out for these showcases, so thank you very much, Mash, for dealing with this. That's my bad.
That's okay, that's okay. I was shocked when I see, what, 8k? Are players gonna be literally co-oping each other to play that?
Yeah, truly a,
fun.
a 2v2 tournament.
Yeah, that's a true co-op 2v2 experience. Anyways, we're back to Yoasubi Romance with the right replay 4K1. And this is, again, this is like a typical hybrid stuff, but this time, it's more of an LN-ish. But time and time, there's gonna be Rice. But as per playing this, and this one is like, I think like a couple of seconds longer than the previous one. This one is just like LNs with just shields with just Rice on it. So this is like your straight up hybrid density, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. First little quarter of the map featured a lot of LNs for a quarter note, so nothing too crazy. But as we get into the chorus, the noodle length grows quite a bit. You get a couple of staggered entrances here, and a lot of Rice and Jacks to go with it.
Yep. And it's like your straight up, it's like your usual hybrids. There's like a couple of breaks, and then suddenly getting to those kinds of LN plus Rice. So it's like just a short leeway in getting to the harder parts. But that's usually how this kind of maps work. And then it's gonna continue from the rest, or like the next half of the map. So like, what else can I explain from hybrids other than maybe just good luck on getting consistency on this one? As per usual.
I think that this one, Rice teams might not have too much trouble with it, though I don't think that this will be, looked at by them very often. I think this might be probably the first choice for those LN teams. However, that is, offset by the Rice biased hybrid that we do have coming up, Hybrid 3. So I think that this one will be kind of left in the wayside during the opening ceremony with the pick spans and protects.
Like if you have like on your team, if you have like only LNs, like only dedicated to LNs and one dedicated to Rice, their usual target for ban is hybrid, and this might be a potential one. But regardless, this is a really good map, in all honesty. Of course, it's a Yoasubi map. Who can't deny? But anyways, that's gonna be hybrid 2. Yoasubi Romance. And then we'll move on to hybrid 3, which would be our last hybrid pick. This time it's gonna be G Jones Time, an Arcat map, an Arcat difficulty with a small slight edit.
Yeah, and I think that there is, as I've said before, this is going to be the Rice biased hybrid. You already see that with these Little mini jacks here. Not too much appearing in form of noodles. And I think that when playing throughout this map, big thing to note is this super long and pretty dense burst that comes out near the end of the map. So I think that's kind of like the make or break point for these LN teams to really test if they are physical enough. So if you are one of those Rise teams still left in this tournament and you are facing an LN team, I think that something like
no.
this
Something like that. Oh my
it will
goodness.
really
That was
test those noodle
brutal.
enjoyers.
Yeah. A sudden burst of just that. It's a slightly, or maybe a slightly slower speed from the previous Rice pick, but it's there. It's there. Make sure that you don't get a miss from that, and then you're gonna get some LNs right there, and then go back to long jacks. Just a couple of thirds right there, and then I think the rest is history. And yeah, patterning is gonna be like that. Yeah,
There's a bit of awkward patterning with the LNs. Some offbeat stuff in between, little bursts of speed. However, there's not too much LN difficulty when you compare it to the Rise as we've seen, and a lot of it comes in the form of pretty fast mini jacks. You'll see here, I think these are 8ths, so it's at 164 BPM, or sometimes snap to thirds, so it's about 123 as well.
Yep. Like, I think one thing I can describe from this map, like going at the end, this would definitely define an Arcat jump scare, especially before the first half and then the last end, having mini jacks, long jacks, something like that. But regardless, that's gonna be it for the normal picks. We've gotten all the hybrids, and we're gonna be moving on to the tiebreaker.
Yeah, so once again, thank you to Logan for providing that Arcat edit for this map. This tiebreaker is something. It's our, I think, 4th Saimitsu custom for this pool. So Saimitsu really bringing out the crazy work, and this tiebreaker is an insane step up, and will really get you excited for the grand finals pool.
Also, guys, do note that the tiebreaker was so hyped that a beat map played this, as seen from the replay name.
Yeah, so good that Galaxy Collapse had to play it.
Galaxy Collapse, Matt Cataclysmic Hypernova. Shoutouts to that beat map, that ranked beat map, for playing this beat map. Really cool.
This intro pretty tame. A lot of schlongs to contend with that might hamper your accuracy early on. However, it is nothing compared to some of the bursts that we'll see.
Oh my goodness, look at that. What was that?
Yeah, those rolls are pretty crazy. Not too long. Get these mini jacks here, and then here comes huge 8th rolls to contend with. Good luck comboing and hacking through that one.
Yeah, that was brutal. Even for a 4.6 map, does that even count as 4.6? Oh my goodness. Yeah, as a typical tiebreaker stuff, because we are in the finals, those kind of stuff are really hype. So yeah, you really need to make sure that you have the entire stamina of going through this, because this is 6 minutes. This is typical tiebreakers. They're pretty long, and if I remember correctly, I think that's the longest by far.
Yeah, definitely the longest map that we've had by far. Get a bunch of jacks here. I think the BPM has sped up quite a bit and does so throughout the map. So, every section is a bit more physical than the last. Get a couple of different LN structures here as we see it. Pretty wonky, very hybridy. I'm not sure who really would come out on top, because I feel like the LN teams will have trouble with the right side of things, and then the Rice teams will have trouble with this part with the staggered releases.
Like in your pairs of threes, you need to make sure that your all-rounder players are very prepared in any cases of a tiebreaker like this, because the sequencing for this tiebreaker is absolutely nuts. Like at one point or at one section, it's just gonna be jump stream, something like that, and then it will burst you out with like a really dense speed pick, and then it's gonna be a hybrid portion. So yeah, really practice this in any cases if you're practicing this within a week from now. So
Yeah,
good luck
that
to the
jump stream
players.
section that we just passed up, I think was something like 210 BPM, something like that, and a lot of the anchors started on the inside columns. So it can prove to be pretty difficult and really wear out your stamina, even though you just kind of got a little break. Some more
Ooh,
mini jacks,
what
and
is that?
then yeah, that
Whoa.
staggered start into the quad. You know, little checkpoint, as Sparky liked to call it. Lots of checkpoints scattered throughout. Can you combo this? Is your combo going to be reset, and are you going to go back to square one?
Yeah. Alright, I think we're having a relaxed portion of LNs here, kind of like the exit this Earth's atmosphere. Yeah, it kind of has that kind of vibe. But this kind of portion does not mean good news, because approaching is gonna be another dense portion. Look at that. I think we're approaching that portion because we're already like 3/4 of the map. So I'm really hyped to see what the jump scare here would be. Ooh.
Yeah, and here we go.
Ooh.
Some more mini jacks, and yeah, a lot of rolls. Kind of like what I had pointed out in the first section. However, it is getting a bit faster, as you can tell by the pace of the music. A couple LN sections to deal with, and then you go back into the speed section. LNs, more jump stream, a lot of it thrown at you in this, final fourth of the map. There's still like a minute and a half to go. The physicality needed to be able to keep up with this map is, something I can only expect from the top teams of this tournament.
Yeah, and I also noticed that the LNs on the previous section got a bit tighter than usual. So be very careful of that. 200s might come and go. And I think we're approaching at the end, and we're just gonna have some random scrambles of mini jacks and jump streams and a bit of speed there. And I think we're approaching at the end. I think that's gonna be our, like, close to the epilogue of the song. And just, I think, closing out with just like slightly released dense LNs. And then, right? Okay. Like on a typical tiebreaker structure, it does look like that. And then mini jacks. And I think that's gonna be it.
Yeah, really
Oh my
slow
goodness.
ending, but I mean, the last 5.5 minutes were an absolute rush to go through. There's so much tested of you and thrown at you throughout this map. So you better hope you guys don't go to tiebreaker this round. Really.
Yeah. Or if you do go to the tiebreaker, please practice this one. It's better to practice it than nothing, honestly. So yeah. Good luck to all the players out there. This is the finals the finals map pool. And all I can say is that, oh my goodness, it's hard. It's
Yeah,
hard. It's
it
hard.
really is. But that is gonna do it for us for the showcase. We did hope you guys enjoyed watching these maps with us. We had a lot of fun pulling it. And thank you to all of our custom mappers for really pulling through for this pool. And there's a lot of crazy ones, some really good ones in here. Hope you guys enjoy playing
I
it
think I got
this
lost
weekend.
there. Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, alright.
Oh my god! I got lost! Oh my god, my internet.
Nothing crazy. Just doing the outro. I think he cut off again. But yeah.
That I missed out.
Nah, just doing the outro, Arj. If you're still here.
Good luck to anyone else there. I wish you guys a very great finals map pool. We're almost at the end of the tournament, and once again, best of luck to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Arj. And thank you to
Mhm.
everyone else. Hope you guys enjoyed.